Welcome to the latest webinar from Nexudus. My name is Anthony, and I'm a member of the support team here at Nexudus. In today's webinar, we'll be taking a look at our latest integration, HubSpot, and how you can use this to help grow your business. Before we start, just some housekeeping to go through first. The webinar will last around 25 to 30 minutes. And we'll be taking questions throughout. If you do have any questions, please just ask them via the Q&A function on Zoom rather than in the chat function. This just helps us to reply to them all in turn. Afterwards, the webinar will be uploaded to our knowledge base, where you can also find all of our previous webinars to watch. So, let's look at what we're going to be covering today in the webinar. We'll start by taking a brief look at what HubSpot is. Then we'll go over what the HubSpot for Nexudus integration could be used for. After this, we'll go ahead and set up the integration between Nexudus and HubSpot and take a look at what data can be transferred. Then we'll finish up by seeing the integration in action by performing some updates and creating some new records in both sides. So first off, what is HubSpot? As I'm sure most of you will know, HubSpot is a cloud-based CRM platform that can help you market and sell more effectively. From within one platform, you can create, track, and follow up on leads, and when they are ready to be converted to a sale, they can be seamlessly passed onto the sales team with all of the existing data. HubSpot itself is based around 5 component parts. The HubSpot CMS, which is the home for your marketing website. The Marketing Hub, a set of tools to help your marketing department increase website traffic and convert more visitors into leads. The Sales Hub, tools designed for your team to efficiently close deals. The Service Hub, a section to support your service team in identifying issues and resolving them quickly. And finally, the Operations Hub, a hub to sync your data across HubSpot and beyond and build automations for your data. So as we can see, it is a powerful and comprehensive system for your marketing and sales needs. So, where does the Nexudus integration with HubSpot come into this? Well, HubSpot for Nexudus is a two-way integration, with the core purpose being to connect customers, teams, and various CRM records you have in Nexudus with their equivalent in HubSpot to help you keep data synced on both platforms at all times. For example, if you were to update a customer's email address in Nexudus, it would sync that update in HubSpot. Or if you were to create a new company in HubSpot, it would create a new team in Nexudus. It's important to identify here that although the connection is two-way, not all records can be updated from either side. If we take a look at the table here, we can see that customers, teams, and notes in Nexudus can update the corresponding records in HubSpot, and HubSpot can update those records in Nexudus. As you can see, this is not the case for opportunities, CRM boards, and CRM stages, which can only be updated within HubSpot. However, when those records are updated in HubSpot, they are still synced with Nexudus. So now that we've looked at what HubSpot is and what the integration allows us to do, let's look at how we integrate the two platforms. This is done with 3 simple steps: connecting HubSpot to your admin panel, defining when HubSpot records should be synced to Nexudus, and mapping the data points between the two systems. We'll go ahead and switch over to the admin panel here. Just a quick note that all data you'll see today is just dummy data. We're not using any real customer information. Setting up the integration is really simple. The only thing you'll need to get going is your HubSpot account details. All you need to do, go into the Settings and Integrations section within the admin panel. Find the HubSpot tile and select it. Click on Connect, and you'll be directed to HubSpot. If you've not already done so, you'll need to log in at this stage. Otherwise, you'll just be asked to select which HubSpot account you want to link to your Nexudus location. You can link a single HubSpot account to all of your Nexudus locations, or a separate HubSpot account per Nexudus location. Once you've selected your account, you'll be asked to confirm the connection. Once agreed, you'll then be directed back to the integration settings in Nexudus. Now that the integration is set up, any customers and teams we create in Nexudus will also be created in HubSpot. Any previously created customers and teams will not automatically populate, however. This can easily be achieved by exporting the records you want to import from Nexudus, and then use the import feature within HubSpot to pull those records in. When using the HubSpot importer, it will read the column headers from the export of Nexudus and attempt to match those up with the relevant fields in HubSpot. You can also manually set these as you go through the process as well. Now that we've connected our HubSpot account to Nexudus, we just need to define when to sync HubSpot data. Because your HubSpot account may handle large numbers of deals, contacts, and companies on a regular basis, we give you the option of when to sync them in Nexudus, only if a specific update or condition is met. You can use the predefined HubSpot data points to trigger the synchronization, and you can select multiple states for these data points. This means whenever this field is updated with these values in HubSpot and then saved, it will trigger the HubSpot update to Nexudus. What we've done, however, for the company and deal data sections is set up a custom field of sync with Nexudus. This gives us easy oversight of our records in HubSpot to see if they are or are not going to be linked. We'll now just quickly take you through how to set this up for the contact field. We'll move over to HubSpot and search for contact properties. Here, we can create our own custom fields. We just need to select the type of record that we're going to connect this field to. As you can see, you can create custom fields for any type of record that you want to create in HubSpot. In this case, we're going to use contact. The group is the area within the record the field will appear. We'll use contact information. The label is just the name of the field. And the description is just an optional piece of text to help you identify what information the field contains. Next, we just need to select the type of field that we're creating. In this case, we must use the drop-down select option, as this is the only one that can be used to trigger a synchronization with Nexudus. Once we've selected this, we just need to enter our labels that are options within the field. We'll just use yes and no. Once we've confirmed this, we can create the field within HubSpot. At this point, we can now also add this field into our creator form. Here is contact creator form within HubSpot. We can add in the field we've just created so that this will always be requested as part of the form when a new contact is being created. We can also make this a required field to be completed, so that any new records that are created must select this, and then you will know at a glance whether the record is or is not going to be synchronized. This can also be done for any of the other record types that are available within HubSpot. We can also now add this field into our contacts. We look at one of our contact records here in HubSpot and then view the available properties. We can search for our new field and add this to our view. What this does is puts it into the default properties that are displayed when you access a contact record. If we now go back to our contact, we can see the field now displayed here. This record will now be automatically synced with Nexudus when any new updates are made. Now that we've set up this new field, we can set this as the trigger point for our contacts in Nexudus. Now this means anytime a record with this field with the value of yes is updated within HubSpot, it will synchronize with the relevant record in Nexudus. An update will only be triggered when an update is saved in HubSpot or Nexudus. And from HubSpot again, this will only trigger the update if the specific synchronization for the record is met. The second part of synchronizing the data across the systems is setting up which HubSpot properties connect to which Nexudus fields. If we take a look at the contact syncing, without changing any of the settings here, company name and job title are set to synchronize with the relevant Nexudus fields. Also, in the background, customer name and email address are also synchronized, as these are the minimum requirements to create a Nexudus customer account. We can choose from any property that is related to this record type in HubSpot. You just need to search for the property here, and then select the property you want to link it to in Nexudus. For example, we can choose website URL in HubSpot and link this to the website field in Nexudus. Now this means whenever the website is updated in Nexudus or in HubSpot, this will trigger an update to the related field in the other system. It is worth noting that this selection works for custom fields created in both HubSpot and Nexudus also. The setup of the company synchronization settings works exactly the same. For example, we can link the HubSpot field company domain name to the team's record for website. Now we'll look at the synchronization of deals, pipelines, and stages. We'll quickly go over back to HubSpot to show the pipeline here first. So it's worth remembering at this point that this is only a one-way process from HubSpot to Nexudus. And with the basic account in HubSpot, you can only have one pipeline called Sales Pipeline that has 7 specific stages that cannot be altered. If you want to add your own pipelines and stages, this does require at least a starter CRM suite in HubSpot. Once you've created your pipelines and set these up, These will automatically sync to Nexudus when at least one deal is created within the pipeline that meets the synchronization setting. The synchronization of opportunities will also override the setting to sync contacts. For example, if you set contacts not to sync, but you have deals and opportunities set to sync, the relevant contact will be created or updated within Nexudus if a relevant deal is created. So now that we have the connection set up, let's look at syncing some data back and forth between Nexudus and HubSpot. The synchronization isn't real time, but will happen within a minute or two of the record being saved. First, we're going to create a new company in HubSpot to create a team in Nexudus and add a relevant customer to it. We'll go to our contact records in HubSpot. We'll use Jeff as an example here. He already has a sync with Nexudus set to yes. And we're going to create a new company under his record to create a new team in Nexudus and add Jeff to it. As we go through the create company record, we can see we have the sync with Nexudus field on the form, as this has already been added for this record type. We'll select yes, so that this record will sync with Nexudus and create the team. This now puts us into the company record in HubSpot, and we can go back to the contact record from here and see that the company has now been attached to this contact record. We'll move on to the next example first before we check on this in Nexudus, as it can take a couple of minutes just to filter through. Next, we'll create a deal in HubSpot to create the relevant opportunity in Nexudus and also create our sales pipeline and stages. If we first take a look in Nexudus, we'll see we don't currently have a CRM board in the system. We'll go into the deals section in HubSpot. We can create a new deal. We can see again, we have the sync with Nexudus toggle. And then we'll connect this with Jeff. This will now create the CRM board, the CRM stages, and an opportunity within Nexudus. The final example we'll look at is creating a customer in Nexudus to create a new customer in HubSpot. Again, we'll go to our contacts here, and we'll just create a simple customer record in Nexudus. We just need a name and an email just to create a basic account. This will now trigger an update to HubSpot to create the contact record. It's worth mentioning again that any contacts you create in Nexudus, as well as Teams, will automatically sync with your HubSpot account. You don't need to set a synchronization trigger for this. Now that we've created all of our examples, let's check on the updates that's been made. As the synchronization from Nexudus to HubSpot is usually a little quicker than from HubSpot to Nexudus, we'll check if Jeremy has been created as a contact in HubSpot first. And here we can see Jeremy has now been created as a contact in HubSpot. As he's come in from Nexudus, we would need to set a synchronization trigger to make sure that any updates completed in HubSpot are sent back to Nexudus. Now we'll check on the records that we created in HubSpot to update in Nexudus. Here we can see Jeff and his team have been added into Nexudus, and Jeff has been placed in the team also. And finally, we'll check our CRM boards and our opportunity. The board has been created with the stages, and Jeff has been added as an opportunity. So let's review what we've looked at today. We've covered what HubSpot by itself is. We've reviewed what the integration achieves. We've learned how to integrate HubSpot with Nexudus and how to set up the integration to synchronize it as we want it to. And we've looked at some examples of the integration in practice. This brings us to the end of the webinar. The HubSpot integration is available right now in your admin panel. The cost of the integration is £50, dollars, or euros per month per connected location. Thank you all for taking the time to join today. We'll leave the Zoom call open for around another 10 minutes, so please feel free to ask any further questions and we'll do our best to get to those answered. If you do have any other questions after, please do feel free to email us at support@nexudus.com or check our knowledge base at help.nexudus.com. Thank you.